Well, I noticed that Facebook has changed their live feature again, and it's set up a little different. So I hope it's live streaming the way it's supposed to be. You may hear the rain in the background. It's pretty loud. There's thunder and lightning and all kinds of storms rolling through, which is funny because I looked at my app this morning since I ride a motorcycle to see what the weather was like, and at 5:20 there was a little sunshine thing on Monday, and it didn't say rain or gully washer or make sure you take a snorkel and flippers. But I guess I'm gonna have to. You ever feel like you're facing whatever it is you're facing all by yourself? Like no one else is around you, no one else cares, even when you're surrounded by a massive group of people. And maybe you've had those days where you're struggling on the inside. You feel like everything is against you. Every thought that comes to mind, whether it's about your bills or about a relationship or about your future plans or about your career or about your next step. Every thought that comes, you kind of look at it and you feel like there's a mental dead end. You follow me? You could be sitting alone in the coffee shop with your book and enjoying your quiet moment with your cup of coffee, and then the thought comes to mind, don't forget to pay that bill. And the thought immediately behind it is, but if I pay that, I can't pay this. Or if I pay that, then I got nothing left for the weekend. Or if I pay that, am I just dumping money in a black hole? Because what if I can't eventually pay it all off? Or maybe you think about a relationship and it seems to have the same dead end. That, well, how can I fix this relationship? I may have said the wrong thing, or maybe they said the wrong thing and I'm waiting for an apology, or I'd love to reconcile with them, but I think they should apologize first. And again, you start down that path, but there's a dead end. There doesn't seem to be hope in the finality of that thought. It doesn't go from here to better. It goes from here to worse, or it goes nowhere. I'm not alone, am I? Haven't we all had days that we kind of think like that? Haven't we all had those moments in time where, whether you call it depression or you just call it reality or whatever it is that you call it, you realize that all of the things in my life seem to be that I'm the only one that could do them. And I can't do them all. I can't do it all on my own financially. I can't do it all on my own strategically. All the things that need to be done. As my family faces a new season in my career and changes again in what we're doing, and you know, I believe it's a God thing. I believe the transition that's coming up is where we're supposed to be. But I look at all the things that need to be done, and by need to be done, I mean should be done. If I were coaching someone in the strategic business planning aspect of what's next, there's a whole lot that needs to be done. We need book covers designed. There are at least 4 books that need to be released by the end of the year. They're all written. They just haven't been typed up, and they haven't been wrapped in a cover and published for sale that way. The content's done. It just needs finalized. Well, there are 4 books that fit into that category. There are 3 different webinars that we need to write the content for. I'm not alone, right? There are other people kind of going through the same struggle, right? There's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be done, and it seems like time is compressing. Like everything we need to do needs to be done yesterday. And that all of the stuff that we need to do has to be touched by us. We can't just delegate all of it and farm it all out. You know, I think it was one of the things that John Maxwell was implying, what he meant when he said, if your vision is small enough that you can do it on your own, your vision is not big enough. If your dream can be done by you, you need to dream bigger. Put your dream to the test. He talks about the test that your dream has to pass in order for you to say, that's my dream. Is it yours? Did it come to you? Or is it someone else's dream that you're living? Are you living out the career someone else planned for you? Have you just taken a job and you're doing everything you can for them? Because if you've got a dream and you can do it all on your own, it's not big enough. It doesn't involve enough people. See, one of the things that I'm learning along the way is that I am not alone is a multifaceted statement. I'm not alone in that sometimes I experience those days where every thought seems to run into a dead end. I'm not alone in the fact that some of those days I realize there's more work to be done than I alone can do. I'm not alone in realizing that I want to make a bigger impact than just my paycheck, than just my career, than just my accomplishments. Because I'm not alone on this earth. There are other people whose lives are just as important or more important to me than is my own. Now think about that for a moment. How many of the plans and the strategies and the ideas, the dreams, the visions that you're embarking on, how many of those could you honestly say, whether I'm the one who accomplishes this or not is not relevant? The plan has to go forward. The vision needs to be carried out. The dream has to be lived by someone. And if that means I start it and someone else finishes it, that's fine. But it's got to be done. The world needs this. The world needs what I've set out to do. Not for my sake, not for my glory, not for my accomplishments, not for my trophies on the wall, but because the world needs this. See, that's when you find out how much you're not alone. When people start coming around you and pouring into you and offering help and donating their time to help. You see contributions from people of all walks of life who pour into not you, but the cause. Not your success, but the success of the adventure you've been called to. And see, there's another level of that even as well. In those moments when we have those dead ends, that there are those who would say, and I have to agree with them on some levels, that if you think about the negative, if you think about the dead ends, if you think about all the things that you cannot accomplish, that's what you're going to find in your life. You're going to find yourself running to those dead ends. But if instead you look at them, and as some would phrase it, instead of saying, I can't afford to do this, change that thought to a question, how can I afford to do this? Not as a fatalistic question, oh, how could I ever do that? But how strategically, how tactically, how could I possibly pull this off? What would I do in the next 7 days to raise $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, whatever it is that you need? What would I do strategically? Not if it was just an idea, not if it was just, I want $1,000 to go on vacation, but it's $1,000 to save your child's life. How would you come up with $1,000? And most people are going to say, I don't know. Well, the next question is, what if you did know? See, if our thinking always stops at the dead end, if it gets to the dead end and it stops there, that's when we're in trouble. And it's when we will feel the most alone. I used to live in a small town, was born and raised in a small town in Lampasas, Texas. And there were a lot of places where they would start building a neighborhood, and as they would build out the neighborhood and all the roads in the neighborhood, they would have one road that would act like it was going to another neighborhood or going on to the next street, and then it would just come to an end. It would be half a block long, and there would be the end of the asphalt and a barricade there. And in a little town like ours, I can tell you, that may have been the end of the named street. It may have been the end of the concrete or the asphalt. It may have been where the barricade was to tell you this is the end of the road. But it was never where the rednecks stopped. It was never where the teenagers stopped. Every one of those dead ends in my hometown, you can see trails from both sides of that big barricade where four-wheelers or motorcycles or bicycles or sometimes even off-road trucks would drive right around that barricade and just keep going right off into the woods. That dead end, supposedly, that place where most people stop, that place where without persistence, without consistency, you just reach the dead end and you give up. And the place where I was raised, that wasn't where we gave up, that was where the adventure began. We would come to that dead end. We would come to that place where the road ceased. And that's when our adventurous nature would dig in. We would pedal right past it. We would climb through the briars. We would take off down whatever part of an unpaved road might be there, and then keep going past that, up and over the stock tank and through the field until somebody yelled at us, "Get off my land!" I want to challenge you to ask yourself the question, have you found the places in your life where it seems like every train of thought, every road comes to a dead end? If that's you, if that's the case, if that dead end is what's holding you back, if you're staring at that barricade and you're thinking, I am here all by myself, I can't finish this next project, I don't have the funds to pay all the bills, I don't know what to do about this relationship, hold on. In fact, I'm going to challenge you to sidestep that barricade and walk past it. And realize that on the other side of that barricade are all the other adventures as well. All the other people who say, I'm not going to let a barricade slow me down. I'm not going to let the norm, the status quo, tradition stop me at the end of the asphalt. I'm going to look at that place and I'm going to say, here's where adventure begins. Here's where the opportunity to travel with fellow adventurers starts. You're not alone. You're not alone. And in all of the things that you're challenged by, you're not alone. There are others challenged by the same things, and opportunity hides there as well. If you will be prepared when that end of the road comes, if you will have a strategy in mind when the end of that road comes, if your ability to obey the God of the universe is at its highest level, when that road comes, you will find that barricades may appear, but there's always a way around. And on the other side, that's where adventure awaits. Don't stand at the dead end looking for more dead ends. You'll find them. But if you stand at the barricade and you look past it, you look around it, you look over it, you look under it, on the other side, you'll see opportunity. And where opportunity and preparedness meet, that's where luck begins. And that can change your life. I'm J Loren Norris, and you've been watching Tell It Like It Is TV. Go find the barricade and find a way around it. Stop looking for dead-end roads and start looking for adventure. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, whether you watch on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and share with your friends. Help them understand they, too, are not alone. And you're not alone in this universe either. No, he's there. He's watching every step. I appreciate you spending time with me today, and I appreciate having a chance to be a part of your day. God bless.